How's it going, guys, and welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we're taking a look at the Tunguska. If you'd like to farm the Tunguska for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel over to the Drought, specifically taking the highway fast travel station, as this is the fast travel station that we will be resetting from, which conveniently also has a catch ride right next to it. Make your way towards the left and then behind this rock, where you can head up into this encampment, where as long as you have completed the Stag Dog Day side quest, Mincemeat, Truffle Munch, and Butt Munch will spawn, with Mincemeat being the one who can drop you the Tunguska. The Tunguska is a legendary Torgue launcher, unable to roll in any elements and able to roll with 1 or 2 projectiles per shot for 1 to 2 ammo cost per shot respectively. When fired, the Tunguska will shoot out a rocket, which upon impacting an enemy or a surface will summon another projectile which will rise up into the air before exploding. The Tunguska is able to fire in both impact and sticky, with sticky functioning the same way, just that when those stickies pop is when those extra projectiles are spawned. The Tunguska has received a single buff, being a 50% weapon damage increase. The Tunguska has gone from a pearlescent in BL2 that was literally only worth keeping around to later sell for money to buy ammo, to now being a lot of people's hidden gem weapon, which does call into question whether or not this gun is actually forgotten, but this is my show, shut the fuck up. But right off the bat here, let me jump my opinion out there and say, I disagree. I know we're treading new ground here. I'm usually a very agreeable person. I've never disagreed with the community before. I love the Hellwalker! But let's get into actually talking about this gun. First off, the impact mode is just pretty shit, and that's usually acknowledged by just about everyone that uses this thing. Most can sometimes make it do funny things when it procs short fuse and Torgue cross promotion at the same time, but that's just Moe's, and even on her, Sticky is easily just better. A simple mode switch makes the Tunguska go from pretty shit to genuinely really solid in an instant. Now, choosing between ×2 and ×1 is definitely a bit interesting here, as with the Tunguska, ×2 has the same max damage per projectile as the ×1, meaning there's really no benefit to using the ×1 over the ×2, aside from ammo cost, but even that's not entirely true, as the ammo consumed to damage dealt conversion stays the same. Since you're gonna be using stickies, you might as well always use a ×2 to stack them faster. ×1 isn't bad, it's just a slightly slower to stack ×2. However, that's also not entirely true, as that's just damage-wise. The ×1 does have a couple of benefits, one being that it can roll a larger mag size, which can be very nice for some situations, and the other has to do with the set projectile pattern that the Tunguska has. When firing 2 or more projectiles, whether they're added from the card multiplier or elsewhere, they diverge outward from the center point. This means if you're using the ×2, you can only really hit both on target either when close to them or if they have a really large hitbox. This is especially a problem because of that massive AoE that the Tunguska has. So the ×2 is more efficient, but the ×1 is more effective at range or for general mobbing. Both can be good, it just depends on what works for you. Also a note with that, when going above 2 projectiles, it stays in that double-pronged split. However, you will still be getting additional projectiles. They just overlap, so it's difficult to see visually. But I'm talking favorably about the thing, so why don't I like it? Am I just having a moment of thinking I'm epic and being a cool contrarian? No, it's because I still don't like it. I just don't think it's that strong outside of a bossing situation because it's very slow to use. It would be better in that situation if ×2 was more capable at mobbing, but because it has that weird projectile pattern, it's again really only useful for bossing, which means that you have to stack with the ×1, which again means it's just a very slow gameplay loop. And also the damage isn't that much more amazing than any other rocket launcher, and most other rocket launchers are way more fun to use. The Tunguska also just seems to be suffering from a bit of an identity crisis. It has a fucking massive AoE on it, which seems like it wants to be a mobbing launcher, however the need to stack those stickies makes it unfriendly ammo consumption-wise for mobbing, on top of again just being a very slow playstyle. And if you want to use a ×2 to stack faster, it's impossible to hit both on the same target without being in the blast zone. Sort yourself the fuck out, King. Overall though, the Tunguska is good, but honestly I'm still just not a huge fan of it. It can be fun to stack a bunch of stickies on a boss and watch it be fucking atomized, but there's there's plenty of other launchers that can do that for a lesser ammo cost and without having to sit there stacking stickies. And I just really wish that the ×2 didn't have that weird projectile pattern, because this would actually be a much better gun for mobbing if you didn't have to stack so many on a single enemy. But that's not about to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. I will be live right after this video goes up, right here on YouTube and also over on my Twitch channel, where there will be a link to down in the description below. And just under that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.